Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Unboxed. We're so glad to have you here. Today we're going to continue talking about building the Black family, and we're going to conclude our discussion, truly conclude our discussion today on the Black family communication as we unbox the power and the potential of all of our relationships. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach, and welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hey everyone, welcome back to Unboxed. I'm your host, Dr. Robert Davis. So glad to have you with us. Before we jump into this, please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Yes, like, subscribe, and share. And then you can go into the descriptions and find ways that you can partner with and support Unboxed. Or of course, I would love for you just to visit our website. It's right here on the screen. So I want to talk about building the Black family, and we've been talking specifically the last couple of nights about African-American communication, family communication, and a lot of that, and bring this up for me, Bobby, the book, a lot of it is built off of the book. The Black family through healthy communication. Now, the last few nights I've been sharing with you the importance of understanding how African Americans, how Blacks, how people of the diaspora communicate. And there is nothing wrong with the way that we communicate. There's nothing wrong with the way that we express ourselves. And I know that we live in a world and in a society that tells us that, these things are wrong. They told us that the pronunciation of our ancestral names was wrong and all this stuff. But I want you to get past that, if you will. There's nothing wrong with the way that we communicate. So I shared a few key points with you, and I need to bring some clarification today. Last night I shared with you that I shared with you 3 points, and that was: do not try to change how you communicate. Don't let the majority culture dictate how Blacks should communicate. We should be proud of our communication style. The second thing I said was focus on your feelings and how you're acting or reacting to those feelings when you're communicating. That's where your focus needs to be, not on your communication style, but rather on the feelings that you're having and how you're reacting to those feelings. And then I talked about the need for being positive and optimistic. Keep it positive and optimistic in your communication. So I shared those things. But then, someone, meaning me, brought to my attention, hey, Dr. Davis, one of the things that you shared before was that when we're communicating, especially when there's tension and anxiety, we really do need to pay attention to how we're communicating. We need to pay attention to the volume, our selection of words, and all of those things. And I don't want to make it seem like I'm contradicting, because while I'm saying African Americans, people who are descendants of Africans, people of the diaspora, people on the continent of Africa, there is a unique commonality about the way that we communicate. And I don't want you to change the way that you communicate. But however, I want you to be thoughtful about how you're communicating. In other words, again, thinking more about content versus style. The thought need to be around content. And too often in many of our books on families and stuff, it talks about your communication style and how you communicate. And it almost wants to put you into a Eurocentric box. So what I'm telling you is, don't allow anyone to put you into a box. Be proud. As James Brown would say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. But what I want to share with you is that while we have a unique communication style that we don't want to dispense with, we do want to be intentional in making sure that the content of what we're saying is beneficial and productive. In other words, and one of the things we talked about in the book, Season with Grace, God's Recipe for Healthy Family Communication, one of the things we talked about was developing a healthy communication climate with our families. And so we want to make sure that what we are saying is not hurtful and that it is not harmful, but rather that it is productive and thoughtful and caring. The second thing is we want to be thoughtful about how our family communicates. So there is a general communication style that is, typical among all African Americans. And you can go back and watch some of the previous broadcasts to kind of get an understanding of that. However, each family has a uniqueness about itself. There is, when we talk about volume, African Americans typically speak at a louder volume, typically use more words and speak quicker, speak more rapid in their speech. We talk about those things. That's great. But each family has certain, and each relationship that we're in has certain markers that kind of say, hey, this is when you're going over the line. So understanding the boundaries and the healthy boundaries within family communication is vitally important. And so I'm not saying that we shouldn't be conscientious about our family and making sure that we don't offend people with volume or with aggressiveness within our relationship. What I'm saying is, don't try to change who you are from a culturally ethnic perspective. And for you to spend the majority of your time putting the major energy into making sure that what you say is constructive and productive. That is constructive and productive. I want you to focus more on content than on style. To focus more on content than on style. Because remember, no matter what aspect family functioning we're talking about, whether it's finances, when we're going to talk about finances, whether it is spirituality or child rearing or household responsibilities, or I could just, rattle off a myriad intimacy and sexuality, rattle off a myriad of other ones as well. We know that the primary way in which we engage in these aspects of family is through communication. That's just the reality of it. So we want to improve our communication. So let me recap and send you on home. Number one, there's nothing wrong with the way that African Americans communicate, and don't let anybody tell you so. When you are communicating, understand how your family communicates and make sure that you operate within those boundaries. Number three, this is the third thing. Focus on what you're saying to make sure that it is productive and constructive so that you can build up your family and so that your family can reach its full potential. All right. I wanted to make sure that I put a button on that whole conversation about healthy family communication. We're going to come back here and we're going to talk about another aspect of healthy family. I'm debating whether tomorrow I'm going to deal with African-American finances, or since we're coming toward the weekend, whether I should start dealing with spirituality. Let me wrestle through and figure out which one I'm going to go with. But until then, I will see you tomorrow as we unbox the power and the potential of all relationships. Make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. Tell your friends about Unboxed, and also visit our website to learn more about the wonderful things that we do. Good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.